South Africa has said it agrees with the idea of universal access to healthcare, but it was worried that the National Health Insurance Act in its current form is not workable. The organization says it's glad the president realizes stakeholders have to discuss it before it is implemented. BUSA says in its current form, NHI is unaffordable and unsustainable. For more, we're joined by CEO of Business Unity South Africa, Mr. Cas Kuvadia. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Mr. Kuvadia. So the Health Department says it needs to only raise about 200 billion rand to implement NHI. And I mean, I use only, quite subjectively, that word. Probably 200 billion is not such small money. But what are your thoughts about that ball mark?
Hi, and thanks for having me, and hi to your viewers. Firstly, the 200 billion rand is a 2010 figure. If we look at it now, it's closer to 400 billion rand. The National Treasury had made it very clear we don't have that sort of money.
Yeah.
We would have to increase taxes at a time when we have very low economic growth, at a time when citizens are already struggling to make it. And for us to go and borrow the money at a time when we are rated as a sub-investment grade country, it will cost us a lot of money, and already borrowing costs are a significant part of our budget. So it's just unsustainable from that point of view. We have indicated that we were very happy that the president said that the public and private healthcare sectors need to collaborate to actually put us on the road to universal healthcare and ensure that everybody has equitable healthcare. And that's what we've been saying all the time. But the Act in its current form does not enable that. And we would be very happy to engage with the president, with the Minister of Health and others. And we have got a letter out to the Minister of Health to actually see how we can amend the Act to enable the public and private sector to collaborate and ensure that the legislation is sustainable and implementable, and we do achieve what we both want to achieve, which is universal health.
Yeah, he did promise us once again that national dialogue that he's been talking about since the elections, right? Who do you think should be involved, ideally, in the discussions around NHI in particular?
Well, I think, healthcare professionals, even some civil society organizations, business, government, and the broader economic players, because this isn't just a healthcare issue, it's a macroeconomic issue. If we try to implement the Act in its present form, it will have significant macroeconomic implications. We have, throughout the process where we've been doing work on the NHI, where we gave input to Parliament, to the NCOP, we've been engaging government. We've also briefed civil society organizations. We've also briefed labor, because this impacts on workers, this impacts on ordinary citizens, this impacts on the economy. So I think that we have certainly briefed a broad range of interests on our position.
Yeah.
We have no problem, and we will continue to interact with a broad range of interests. But I think the critical discussion has got to be between healthcare professionals, Business Unity South Africa, and government, and we need to actually ensure that civil society, labor, and others are also part of that.
Did you become concerned, and I know I'm being naughty with this question, did you become concerned at any point when this GNU was announced and the DA signed that statement of intent? They were one of, the organizations that intended taking government to court about NHI, and then suddenly the GNU happened and that was paused. Did you become concerned that, oh no, we're losing one more person in, the argument that it shouldn't be implemented in its current form?
No, firstly, we publicly said that we are in favor of the GNU, and business certainly would want to put its shoulders to the wheel to ensure that the GNU works. The DA and the ANC and other parties in the GNU have to actually now see how they make the GNU work, what compromises need to be made and so on.
Yeah.
But from what we know and what we've heard the DA say, they are not saying that they are happy with the NHI in its current form. There are a number of political parties that are taking that view. So whether it lands up in court or not, from a DA's point of view, is something they need to respond to. But I think a number of political parties have still indicated that the bill in its current form is not workable, and we welcome that, and we would certainly. Obviously, we need to work with the government of national unity when we say we need to work with government.
Yeah,
And there'd be parties, and there'd be parties with different views there, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, we need to arrive at a piece of legislation that's implementable and that's sustainable.
I guess collaboration and open-mindedness will be very important, both with the GNU, all the political parties involved, and with business as well. But do you think then, Mr. Kuvadia, that before Parliament, made it an act of law, this NHI, because it was a bill for quite a long time, I think 15 years or 10 years before it became an act of Parliament, do you think they should have waited a bit and continued with discussions with business such as yourself, around how it should be implemented before they actually made it an act of Parliament?
We certainly think so. We had actually asked the President not to sign the bill in its current form when it got to the President. But we were in, pre-election mode. We were in campaigning mode. The ANC certainly, in some provinces, used the NHI as one of the campaign tools. So one needs to be realistic. It's the politics of the possible, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's the president's prerogative to sign whatever the president wants to sign. He signed it. Some people have already gone to court, some organizations. We would be reluctant to, if we can't make any other progress, we'd have to consider our options. But if this ends up in court, it could be in court for many years. And that just takes healthcare back. And I think that the best solution would be for us to work together to amend the bill and to ensure that we achieve what the President said in his State of the Nation address, that the public and private healthcare sectors work together under a bill that's sustainable and enables that and is affordable, and we can then put our country onto the path to universal healthcare.
And I mean, COVID-19, there was collaboration and that worked for us.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got collaboration now in energy, in logistics, in law and order.
Yeah.
And we're making good progress on that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kuvadia, for your time this morning. Thank you for waking up to have a chat with me. Kaz Kuvadia is the CEO of Business Unity South Africa. To this now.